try and tough it out, which was always going to come out. He was going to come out worse too. So, you know, I feel like he showed a lot of heart tonight. I gave him 2 to 3 rounds. Probably, yeah. I think 2 judges gave him 3 rounds, and 1 judge gave him 1 round, which I felt was a bit harsh. But that man was dominating.
Some of the undercards tonight.
Yeah, I mean, Akhmadaliev, fantastic. That's exactly how I want him to fight. I think he beats everybody at super bantamweight if he fights like that. You know, outside of obviously a Nue is a very tough fight, but Galayev, great punch output, and he saw tonight the levels he needs to get to. Peter McGrail, just a shocking knockout. You know, dominating the fight, and 1 punch changed everything, and a really good before the bell segment as well, and just a great night of boxing.
I wanted to ask you about McGrail because I was just having a masterclass performance. Yeah. The only question was could Quinn survive? And then that happened. What
it's just boxing, like, you know, he's such a brilliant skillster, you know, and he was punching hard tonight. He dropped him a couple of times, didn't lose a second of any round, and walked onto a right hand and got knocked clean out. I mean, that's the beauty of the sport. Switch off for 1 minute and you make the mistake. So hopefully we can make the rematch and he can get back on the horse.
I know I got here a little late, but what do you think it's going to take to get Devin Haney and Gervonta Davis to fight? There's reports that he turned down an offer.
Yeah, I don't know. There seems to be quite a bit of bad blood. That's why I came in and messaged him, just to try and get a little bit of, you know, I'm not really in the circle of butting heads at the moment with all those guys, but there is a huge amount of money for Gervonta Davis for that fight. So I just wanted to let him know. But unfortunately, he didn't want to know about it.
You know, Ryan, you know, also commented on Twitter. He said if that fight won't happen because Gervonta will probably put rehydration clause. If I'm not misquoting, and Devin and Ryan said, well, let's jump into it. I'll fight you in March.
Yeah,
would that also be a possibility?
Yeah, I would love to fight, but I don't think, you know, look, Ryan and Oscar and all those guys are going to want an easier fight, and that's Rolling. So if they can get Rolling, then they're going to go with Rolling. But if they can't, they might fight Devin. But let's be honest, who really wants to fight Devin Haney, 20 million and stuff like that? That's not going to dangle a carrot. You know, and everyone tries to put Devin Haney down. You get this bullshit stuff from people like Leonard Ellerby saying the fight did 50,000 buys. It ain't even worth responding to. But they want to set a narrative to try and dress it up that actually Devin hasn't got any value. He doesn't really, you know, he doesn't sell pay-per-views, he doesn't sell tickets. Then all of a sudden he sells out at Chase Centre, and they say, yeah, but tickets were only $60 up the top. Who gives a fuck? Like, you know, you should be embracing fights like that, not trying to put people down and talk yourself out of it. So disappointing that Gervonta didn't want to talk about the fight.
Eddie, did you get any kind of response from Tank? We saw that tweet.
Yeah, there's another message that he chose not to post.
Who's going to leak that, you or?
No, I don't leak DMs. Do you know what I mean? I feel like if you're reaching out to someone like a fighter to have a, you know, private business conversation, there's only 2 people who leak DMs: Adrian Broner and Tank Davis.
Fight fans kind of, you know, are targeting Gervonta, saying that he doesn't want to fight. What do you make of that reaction?
I'm not sure. I think Gervonta believes he can beat everybody. But I've been around long enough to know that when people don't like people say shit about people, it makes it a lot harder to make the fight. So obviously Bill, you know, Calvin Ford, is it, the trainer, and, you know, Leonard. I'm just sitting back watching it going, fuck, I can't see this fight getting made at all.
Was there a guarantee? Was there a $20 million guarantee? We saw, you know, kind of quotes going around.
I believe there was a conversation between Bill and a member of the team, yeah, that I want to make an offer of, you know, probably more than that. But unfortunately, don't want to have the conversation.
You don't think that you just said, you know, you don't think that fight's going to be made? Do you think it's not just yet? Because not yet. I personally think I don't think it made this year. Maybe next year, the latest. But you think because you know,
well, this year we've only got 2 weeks left.
Sorry.
I don't think it'll happen this year either. No, but I think you know, they're going to need those fights. But the problem is, I don't know. Boxing's such a mad business where people just listen to people and, like, you know, really, like you saw tonight. I know it's flyweight, but how good is it when, like, you know, Devin next year could fight Ryan Garcia, Teofimo Lopez, and Gervonta Davis, and he would fight all of them. But someone wants 50 million, and someone wants 20 million, and someone, like, just open up the books and let the fighters have the money. But they don't want to do it like that. They want guarantees that don't exist.
So what's the most realistic opponent for Devin?
I think Ryan Garcia, but I'm not so sure he will fight him next. If he can't get rolling, I think he will. If not, you might see Devin go up to 147, fight Barros, fight Conor Benn, you know, and then see what's up.
How was the meeting with Golden Boy?
Jay. Yeah, I mean, I think you might have beaten Andre August, but it's still an impressive knockout. You know, I mean, if he goes in there and, well, I think he looks like he's improving. I think he punches quite hard. But how that guy is 9 or 10 and 1.
If you were promoting him, who's the best next fight for him?
Just someone he can. I just keep going. I mean, look, he, you know, I doubt the numbers were spectacular last night. I doubt he made a lot of money, but he's now spinning the narrative that he's building his boxing career. That's cool. I respect that. So there may be someone who is a little bit more legitimate. If you want to start saying you actually want to win a world title, sooner or later you're going to fight someone in the top 15 of the governing body. Anybody at cruiserweight at top 15 will crush Jake Paul to pieces. But be fun to watch.
Eddie, given the enthusiastic crowd you've had in Phoenix when you come here, and also the weather is a little nicer here right now than it is in England or New York City, can we expect you to keep coming here in the winter?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we're always here once or twice a year. Great fight crowd, very knowledgeable. You Americans, you like to boo as well. Like, if one round's even average.
I don't represent all Americans.
No, but all of them.
I'm just kidding.
You know, like even last week on the Haney show, not that fight, but like, you know, which is good because it's like G's the fighters up. So we've been here obviously for Chocolatito against Estrada. We came here back for Julio Cesar Chavez against Danny Jacobs. That was a wild night. Yeah. And actually Estrada Bam could find itself here. I think this would be a good home.
Would that be the best place for this? We're given the Australian.
Possibly. I mean, obviously you've got Bam's performance tonight, which will grow him here.
The second fight here.
Yeah, possibly San Antonio.
Do you think Estrada would rather have a neutral location?
Probably. I think he's boxed here before, so he might like that.
Speaking of neutral, the War Grounds, that was home for the Superflight series. I think that'd be great to already know that we have that audience there. The Mexicans love that arena, but also those type of Superflight fights and just the smaller guys. That'd be great.
I've had fighters fight there. Kell Brook won the world title there against Sean Porter. Scott Twig boxed Oscar Valdez there. I've never promoted a fight there myself, and I've always wanted to promote there. So we'll see.
Eddie, can you touch bases again? You mentioned Conor Benn against Devin Haney. Is that
just only like I saw it on social media, and Devin messaged me and said, "Give me Conor Benn." And I went, "Oh right, okay."
Is that a UK fight?
Yeah, I mean it sells out a stadium in the UK, so that'd be a cool look for Devin to take that, but we'll see.
On to Sonny real quick, man. The crowd responded to him.
Yeah, he deserves it. You know, I mean,
Bring him back.
I said like fighters shouldn't be afraid to lose or to gamble their own, because he could now headline back in the UK and be a much bigger name than he was previously. He could even fight a Mexican or an American over here and headline again. Do you know what I mean? So his face is a bit, you know, bashed up, but other than that, his stock really rose tonight. I thought he showed a lot of heart.
Based on the performance, you would think you're willing to bring him back.
Yeah, but I think he'd fight in the UK next, but you know, big night.
Last one for me, Munguia is going to be facing the Ryder. I don't know why I said that. It's been a long night. But then they're also mentioning how much truth is it that he could face Canelo in May or possibly in the summer.
If he beats Ryder, I mean, he'll be looking to try and stop Ryder, I think, and then get the Canelo fight. I think John Ryder beats him, to be honest with you. Great fight, and back here, isn't it?
Yeah, in February. Matchroom just announced the return of Edgar Bernard. Not against Canelo, just one of the fights want to see. What do you make of the
Disagree. I mean, probably because they don't know what they're talking about. If you watch Pablo McCrory, he's a knockout, he's a KO artist, he's top 10 in every governing body, he's number 3, I think, in the WBO. I mean, who else do you want to fight? You know, if you're not fighting Munguia, he's right up there. Yeah, maybe, but I think that's a fight that could be built. You know, I think that's a risky fight for Pacheco and Berlanga. Diego's up for it, but you know, Diego's also a young prospect. I think that's a fight that can be built into a big fight in the middle end of 2024. But I like the fight. You know, I think it's a very, very, very dangerous fight for Berlanga.
What do you want to see from Edgar on fight night?
It's the excitement, knockout. You've got to put a performance together that gets everybody talking. You know, his last one was a good win, but he needs to win aggressively and, you know, make a statement in that fight.
Eddie, as a promoter, how do you balance the line between getting the fight at the height of its peak without letting it marinate too long, where it kind of goes over the hill and people don't want to see it?
Very difficult. That was like a rare example of you've got two guys in their absolute prime. Well, actually, Bam's probably not in his prime yet, which is scary. But two guys, 23 and 27, 28 20-0 and 17-0, 18-0. Like very, very rare to get that. Normally, when you got 1 and 2, you fight the other champions, and then you go, we'll keep both winning belts, and then we'll save that fight till the end. But these guys just went, yeah, let's do it.
Can we finally see Jesse carrying that ring belt?
I mean, where's the ring?
Well, no, look, can you read this?
Yeah.
This is what I tweeted out.
Yeah. I know you were on
If
outside.
if I was on the panel,
yeah.
I'm not on the panel, but if I was on the panel,
Yeah.
then that should have been for the ring
Yeah, of
title.
course. But the weird thing is like rules. Like the one argument where it didn't get the Ring magazine belt was tell me Jesse's best wins at flyweight. I think that was like and obviously he won the vacant belt against the #1 in the WBO. But it just needs a bit of common sense sometimes in these things. Like there is not one person in the world other than Julio Cesar Martinez who doesn't think that those two are #1 and 2. So therefore, and the beauty of the Ring magazine is it doesn't have to put up with the bullshit politics of upsetting people because it's just a magazine. Yet somehow this little magazine has the most prestigious belt potentially in the sport. But when it's a vacant belt and it's not up, like if it was like someone had the belt and then I don't know they were stripped or like whatever. Like this was just like, is this 1v2? Yes. Is it 1v2? Yeah. So let's just do it. Anyway, it's a shame because it's such a beautiful belt, and this fight really deserved that belt.
I agree.
All right, guys.
Now that you've been in the business for a while with Dazn and streaming, now that PBC has joined Amazon Prime, what is your advice to them to be successful in their new endeavor? And do you think that they're going to be successful in their new endeavor, and if not, why?
I think they could promote a lot better. I think they make really good fights. I think they've got a nice brand. But I just wonder, like, who is actually promoting PBC? You're kind of reliant upon social media and your digital engines to promote, rather than I know I talk a lot, but you really need someone out there, like actually promoting these fights. I hate seeing press conferences when it's like someone who works for a TV company up at the presser asking questions rather than an actual promoter. And I don't do it because I've got a big ego, but it's not because I just want to hear my own voice. But that's my job, the showman, to say, right, this is what we've got to do. So I feel like they need to, without maybe the power of a bigger broadcaster like Fox or like Showtime, now they're going to be tested in that respect, because although Amazon's a big platform, I don't know how invested they're going to be in pushing that particular deal. I think it's a rev share deal, so when there is a pay-per-view event, I guess they will be, but on a consistent basis, I think it's going to be difficult to service all their fighters.
Was that the biggest problem they had over the last 5 or 6 years, is that they just didn't have enough big fights and perhaps too many pay-per-views?
No, it's just that the sport become too expensive.
Yeah.
So fighters are, on the whole, drastically overpaid. And I think overpaid sounds like a harsh word in boxing because it's such a tough sport. But the reality is the commercial value of a fighter is not being respected by us normally. We're just competing against everyone. How much does he want? Oh, I do, And the reality is you do a pay-per-view, or you look at the viewership, or you look at the ticket sales, and the numbers don't make sense. It's like people like Teofimo Lopez. What an incredible fighter. Wants 10 million a fight. How? They don't look at the numbers and go, oh, I understand. They go, I don't care what that says. That's what I want. So, but I think we've got to focus more on just making great fights rather than trying to keep a fighter. Because what happens is a fighter becomes so expensive, they'll take the right money for a shit fight. So you end up spending a load of money on a shit fight, rather than maybe getting another fighter and actually making a great fight for the same amount of money. Tell you a fight I like at the moment? Subriel Matias. Right? £140 IBF champion. He'll fight anyone. And at the moment, he wants a lot of money, but it's enough money to watch that guy go in. He's a beast. You know what I mean? And you pay up, say you're making a fight for $2.5 million for Teofimo Lopez, or $3 million for Teofimo Lopez against some guy you've never ever heard of. And you put that on TV, or make Matias against another great fighter in a war. That's what we've got overpaying fighters to be in wars. I think that's what we need to do.
YouTube family, don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Help us get to that 1 million subscribers. We're on the road to 1 million. And obviously, we have other great content on our Patreon channel. So since this video is over, head on over to our Patreon and check out all the exclusive content or right here on our YouTube members.